So hi everyone, I am so thrilled to share this topic with you, quantum change made easy through resonance repatterning. Before I go a little bit into the system, I want to tell you a story of how I switched from traditional psychology into what I do now. So when I was studying psychology, we had an internship and we had some rounds in the psychiatry ward. And I was so fascinated after the first visit. And being the geek that I was, I asked my professor, can I join you during your professional rounds and during my free time? So he invited me over, and I remember one time before entering the hospital, he said, look, I want to introduce you to a patient, and we'll call her Rose. And he said, these are the type of cases that we don't know what to do. They're hopeless. The only thing we can do is control the symptoms, and that's it. And I said, okay, so let's go. I was very curious and didn't have an experience. It was my internship. So I went in, and he allowed me to really interact with Rose. And it was a woman that had severe depression. She had tried already several times to commit suicide. And she was telling me that the last time she tried, she jumped in front of not of a plane, of course, of a train. And of course she survived. She remembered listening to a voice saying, it's not your time. And after a couple of surgeries, because she broke several bones, she said, I don't know what the purpose of my life is. I'm searching, I'm reading books. It appears that my life is pretty good. My kids are happy, but I don't know what my purpose is. And it's so strong that it's pushing me down. I don't have the strength. And we interacted a bit more, and then she was too tired and then just lay down again. And it was this moment that I thought, there has to be something else. And I started researching and reading and trying, and then that's where I found resonance repatterning. It's a system that it's possible to have a quantum change, a transformational change, and it's easy and it's quick. So I was hooked. Before I go into it, I want to tell you a little bit into quantum physics, because it's a principle of this system. And also I want to dwell a little bit into the physics, because I want you to remember, and I say remember because I know you all know, why thoughts are so powerful. And not only will you listen to this and say, of course, remember it, you will get to see it with your own eyes. So quantum physics, we know that matter is made of small particles. Before, they used to think that it was the atom, the smallest one. But thankfully, science caught up. And thanks to quantum physics, we now know that we're made of these tiny, tiny little particles that are moving all the time. So what appears to be solid here, it's actually not. It's tiny little particles vibrating all the time. Now, this vibration carries information. It's a vibration and it carries information. And it's actually our main means of communication, but we have forgotten about it. We do this all the time. We do it subconsciously, but we have forgotten about it. Just think about the animal kingdom. So I'm taking you to Africa. You have a group of zebras. They're really calmly drinking water, minding their own business. And you have the lion really far away, checking, approaching really slowly. It's very hungry. It's checking what's going to be my lunch today. Scans the zebras. Boom, spots the one that's going to be its prey. It spots the one that has the weakest vibration. It doesn't go like, which one is the prettiest one I can use as a trophy, or which one has the biggest bank account. No, 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 no. It scans, boom, the weakest one. That's the one. It could be a little baby zebra, or it could actually be an adult that has an injury or is sick, but it spots it really fast. And it goes, boom, attacks, eats it. Now, we do this as well, but we have forgotten about it. We do this with what we call good vibes and bad vibes, okay? And I'm gonna explain to you with quantum physics that this is not just some woohoo gypsy thing, I feel good, I feel you. No, no, no. It's physics, you guys. So it's really cool to know that. So quantum physics. So you have, imagine I have two stones in my hand. They're exactly the same size, exactly the same shape, and they weigh exactly the same. So I hold them in a body of water, and then I drop them, so I hold them exactly the same height. So everything the same, okay? So I drop them at the same time. They drop in the pond, and they create the shape of the energy. So they create these waves. So because there are two, these waves become connected. That's quantum physics term entangled, okay? So they become connected, and what happens? These waves become even bigger. Why? Because they got entangled, and something happened in quantum physics called constructive interference. Now that's your physics term for good vibes. And you've experienced it. What happens when you meet someone that is really positive? You probably already met some people during the breaks, and you talk to them a little bit, and then afterwards you're like, good vibes, expanded. You feel suddenly, like you're skipping, you're a little bit more joyful, you're more energized. Good vibes. Quantum physics. Entanglement, constructive interference. Now, on a sadder scenario that happens on the other side, you work and you go to work on Monday morning, you're feeling pretty good about yourself, and you wait for the train, and you're waiting, and you're positive, you've had a really good weekend, and you're there waiting for the train, and it's 5 minutes late. 5 minutes late. And you're ready to see the people. I mean, certainly these people have never traveled in Mexico because they would have 5 minutes. So then they're like, you're already stressed, and you feel it. So okay, you're still feeling positive. It's okay, 5 minutes, no worries. You go in the train, and then you have everyone like dragging their feet. It's Monday morning, digging themselves in the newspaper. No, I don't want to connect with you. And you're feeling this vibe, and you're like, no, it's okay, I'm good. You arrive at work. You have a meeting, first meeting at 10 o'clock. And it's a very stressful meeting. A project went down the drain. Your company is losing millions. You arrived in the room with your pretty self. You arrive in the room, and what happens? You feel the tension in the air. What just happened? You come with a good vibe. You come with this vibe that is negative, destructive interference. So then, if you don't know how to change your energy in that moment, after that meeting, you're gonna be, oh my goodness, I need a second cup of coffee, I need my cigarette break, you're drained, you're holding tension, and by the time you arrive home, you're like, plunge on the couch. So it happens. And we not only create these vibes and interpret them, but we also attract them, okay? We also attract them. So if you are in a state of mind with the negative thoughts, that's what you will attract. It's basic quantum physics, and it's actually the principle of law of attraction that I'm sure you all have heard. Now I'm going to share with you some really cool scientific proof on how thoughts are so powerful that they can change your whole body and they can change the reality around you. So the first one, David Hamilton has studied a lot the placebo effect and the nocebo effect. And there was this case of a man that was diagnosed with a tumor in his liver. And the doctors told him that there was metastasis. So this tumor was spread, and he will die in 6 months. Boom, shock, diagnosis. This man, of course, after 6 months, he died. And then they did the autopsy, and oops, they realized it was not spread. It was actually just a tiny tumor, isolated. But it doesn't matter. He had received the diagnosis, thought it's real, so then in his field, he created a reality to die. So it's very powerful what we think. Another example is Dr. Dosey, the Black Monday. He studies heart attacks, and he's come to realize that there is a time in the week that most of the fatal heart attacks happen. Now, you probably think it's not Friday at 8 in the evening when I'm having my drink. No, it's Monday, 9 o'clock in the morning, where the most fatal heart attacks happen. So, attention, if you are not happy with your job, think about your heart health and question what you can change. Maybe at that time you cannot change your environment, you cannot quit because you have responsibilities, but what are the thoughts that are running in your brain that you can change? Another one is Bruce Lipton. If you haven't heard about him, I truly recommend that you read him. He's brilliant. He studies epigenetics. So it's the control above the genes. He's made years of studies that state that genes don't control our biology. It's above that. It's actually the environmental signals and our thoughts and beliefs. He even says that, and check this out, when I read this statistic, I was like, oh, 95% of cancer has no genetic lineage. Before I heard that, I used to rant my family history saying, well, you know, diabetes runs in my family, or yeah, I had an aunt that passed away with cancer, so it runs in the family. I read that and I said, stop it. You might have the information, true, you might have the information, but what wakens up that information are your thoughts. Now, my favorite one is Einstein, and I really like this one. It's called nonlocality. So he describes and discovers these particular characteristics from quantum particles, okay? So he says that when two quantum particles come together, so they come entangled, and then they get separated, they are still influencing each other. So if this one moves like this one will move like this. It doesn't matter the space, it doesn't matter the distance, they're still influencing each other. And he calls it, Einstein, it's not my words, he calls it the spooky action in the universe. Don't you just love that? Einstein saying it's a spooky thing. So it's the same with us. And I'm sure you've experienced that. You're thinking of someone, oh, I need to contact this person, and boom, you get the email. Or you're missing someone, oh, I'm missing this family member, and boom, they call you. It's basically that, non-locality characteristic of quantum particles. Now, for me, this has happened already 3 times that I don't call it spooky anymore. With friends of mine that are living abroad, so 2 in Mexico, 1 in South Africa, I'm doing my normal activities, and then suddenly, out of the blue, I think, this friend is pregnant, I need to contact her. And I write them. One of them didn't know at that time, but she was. And the other 2 were like, oh, this is so spooky, how did you know? The only person that knew at that time was their partners. But for me, it was like, of course, we are connected, we are distance apart, but it's in their field that they're pregnant. I picked it up. So that's it, quantum physics, basic quantum physics. So, ton, 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 Danby said, the thoughts are powerful. Now we're going to do the experiment. So I'm going to need a volunteer. Who would like to be my volunteer? Don't worry, if you're up here, I will support you, and we'll have the whole audience doing the activity as well. So we're just going to use your arm, just your arm. So who would like to? Yes. Let's give her a round of applause for her courage. Thank you. And you are? Andrea, nice to meet you. So what I'm going to show Andrea, and then we're going to have them do the stuff, so you're not alone. I'm going to show Andrea a tool that we use in resonance repatterning in order to access the whole field, okay? Because as we know, we're made of energy, and all of our thoughts, emotions, memories, they are energy. So how we access that is through our muscles. Why? Because our nervous system controls all of our muscles. And we don't think about many of the functions, because if not, we'll be dead. Like you're meeting someone, okay, breathe, pump, circulate, we'll be dead. So many of the things are unconscious. So this response of your muscle, when you contract, when you relax, many of the muscles are unconscious. Some of them we control, but some, like the pupils, we don't control. They just contract and relax. So what I'm going to use, it's a tool. It's been used for more than 50 years by chiropractors, kinesiologists, some doctors use it as well. It's applied kinesiology, okay? So what I'm going to use is going to take your arm, your left arm. So I'm going to press, and I want you to hold your arm really strong, okay? So press and you hold. Good. So this is on. So it's strong, it's on, okay? So this is on response. Good. You see, it was not that easy. That's hard. We press, and it's on. Good. Now what I want you to do is when I press, instead of holding it, I want you to let it drop, and I'll support you as you come down, okay? So I press, and you go back. Good. So just wait for the press, and you go down. Good. That's off, okay? Press and down, off. Good. Press, down, off. Okay. Now we do both, okay? On. Good. And off. Good. Just wait a little bit until I press you. It's okay, because it's the first time you're doing this.
I already know, like the...
A little bit? Okay. So usually when you're the first time you're doing it, your body is training, and she's also getting used to my pressuring, okay? So give me an on, so you hold, good. Give me an off, and you let go. Good. Now, do you feel that I'm pressuring the same, or with the off, I'm going like, go down?
Same.
Just that you know because you're not feeling it. It's not like off and on. It's like, okay, now hold. Just, okay, so you got it. Now, on is something that your body field recognizes. So that's why it gets stronger. So we're going to do the first experiment. So I want you to say my name is and your complete name, okay? Ready?
My name is Andrea Gutierrez.
Okay. So it's strong, it's on. Okay. So now say my name is and invent a name.
Okay. My name is Daniela Franco.
And is it easier? Is it easy to hold?
No.
It's not that easy to hold. Why? Because she doesn't recognize that. It's like, what? My field doesn't recognize it. It's getting weaker. Do you see? I'm pressuring exactly the same, but it's getting weaker. Her system is picking up the energy of her saying another name. It's like, whoop, it gets a little bit weaker. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to strengthen you back on. I'll show you this later. I'm going to just zip up. You don't need to do anything. I'll do it for you. I'm just going to zip her up. Okay, let's go back to your muscle checking. So on. Now it's strong again. Okay. Now, I'm going to keep pressuring. I want you to hold it and try to hold it, okay? If it comes weaker, maybe it doesn't, I'll follow you, okay? So, Andrea is Friday, traffic time, hop and hof at the main station, okay? Everybody's rushing to get home and like going through you and like not even saying, excuse me, what's going on? What happened?
It's getting weaker.
It's getting weaker. People are cutting through your field with like, with this like rapid rushed stress energy, it's getting weaker. Let me get you strengthened again. I zip up. I don't know her. It's the first time I meet her. So there you go, okay? You got strengthened by just doing this, and we'll try it later. Now, I'll get them working too. Okay, so I want you, everybody to stand up, please. So I'm going to be checking your energy, but I want everybody to do it. Okay. So energy feels how they change with our thoughts, with our actions. We are going to do together on the count of 3, and we'll make the other ones curious that are outside. We're going to do with our right hand the military salute on the count of 3. With the right hand, and we're going to say, yes, sir, like really strong with the meaning of what it means. So being submissive to a captain, going to war. This is the meaning, okay? So on the count of 3, really getting into it. I'm going to hold your arm so it's strong. You're going to do it with your right hand, okay, Andrea? On the count of 3, we do it together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yes, sir! She's trying to hold it, but what's happening?
Yeah, it's not.
Okay. It's not really. She's really trying. Her mind is like, yeah, of course I can keep this. This is woohoo stuff. It's not. You can see it. It's getting weaker. Okay. So now, on the count of 3, even if you do yoga, it's the symbol. You're going to do on the count of 3, you put your hands together and say, oh, you're ready for it, huh? Oh. You're going to say namaste with the meaning, the symbol of peace and unity on the count of 3. You do it with both hands, Andrea, and then you straighten your left. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Namaste. I'm trying. I'm pressing really strong. It's strong, okay? So you saw it now. Okay, now sit down. Now I need your power minds. Not done yet. I'm going to ask you to really trust me and don't look at the board, okay? I'm going to ask them to do a task. So I'm going to be using their brains. And you keep looking forward, okay? And I'm going to check your muscle checking, how it's responding, how your field is responding. Okay, so I need the power of your thoughts. Are you ready? I'm going to give you a very, very simple task. So really concentrate on the task and do it with your full presence. Ready? You look forward. So I'm going to take your arm. I'm just going to check if you're strong. On. And now do an off. Good. Okay, it's clear. Okay. Okay. Second task. you so much. Thank you. I'm going to show you. You're so trustworthy. Thank you so much. I'm going to show you what we did. You just saw the power of thought. And if you take anything from my speech, please take this experiment with someone I've never worked with, I've never seen in my life. You saw it. I didn't say a word. So this is what I asked them to do, Andrea. The first one, I asked them to think negative thoughts to you. I didn't say anything. I just kept checking, and your arm started to get wobbly. And then, of course, the second one was positive thoughts. And then suddenly, you got really strong. And just to prove it, I was trying to really go down, and it was strong. So there you have it. No more excuses. It's not something you heard. It's not something that you visit. Motivation, let's positive thinking. It's powerful, and it's real. What you think changes your whole body. What you think changes your environment, and what you think changes people's environment and fields as well. Now you might think, well, then it's easy. I don't like my life. I just think positive and that's it. Well, thoughts can be changed in an instant. Yes, when you're thinking, oh, this is so stressful. Oh, what a drag. Or, oh, I hate this. My boss is so annoying. Like, these thoughts can be changed in an instant. But there are beliefs that we are dragging for years that by thinking, they can't be changed that easily. And why? It's because of this that you've seen many times. Is the iceberg analogy of the conscious and subconscious mind. So you have the very tiny tip of the iceberg, that's the conscious mind, okay? And the rest is the subconscious mind. So the conscious mind is really 5%. Some books say 10, some 5. The point is that it's very small, the amount that it controls. And the subconscious is the rest. So that's why it's not that easy. The conscious mind is also the creative one that says, oh, yeah, I have this great idea. I could do this, I could do that. Is what differentiates us from animals. And the subconscious mind is everything that you learned when you were young. It's all these programs, all these tapes. Children, and this is so interesting, when they are from 0 to 6 years old, they're mainly in theta and delta brainwaves. What does this mean? That they're in a hypnotic state. They're in the brainwaves that yogis and very advanced meditators try to achieve for months and years. Kids have it naturally. So a child is playing, and naturally they're absorbing absolutely everything in their field. So if you're a parent and you're saying, don't worry, sweetie, and inside you're feeling freaked out, the child will pick that up because they are in the programs, in the tapes. It's the same thing when you say, I'll never be like my mother. And you become a mom, and what happens? Boop. Oh my God, I'm doing the same thing. It's the program and the tape running. Your conscious mind can say, oh, I want this, I want that. But if you have a belief that is running over and over again, and it's in the subconscious again, that whole part of the iceberg, it's not that easy to change. Now, the conscious mind can go in the past. Oh, I remember that time. In the future, worrying all the time. The subconscious has no sense of time at all. So I'll give you an example. You have Johnny, little boy in school, and he's chatting away with his friends, and the teacher calls his attention. Johnny, what have I told you? You need to pay attention. What is the answer on the blackboard? And he freezes, and then he blurts out an answer. It's wrong. The kids laugh. That experience. Okay, you say, oh, well, it's not so traumatic. But for a child, it's very different. And for Johnny, it was different. So they just recorded in their subconscious, okay, no big deal. He grows up, he's a normal human being, no sociopath, nothing, just normal, like any of us. He goes to work, and he gets a new team leader, a very dominant team leader. And they're in a team meeting, and this team leader says, suddenly, so John, what do you bring then for the plan? What is it? He raises a little bit the voice. He's caught up out of attention. John went back to that experience when he was young, starts feeling like maybe red cheeks, heart pounding from like an adult meeting. You think, huh? Exactly. The conscious mind is not rationalizing these emotions. These emotions are coming from the no sense of time, okay? And it happens to us all the time because there are tapes and programs that we're not aware. They're just like, okay, play. Oh, I'm freaking out. Play. Oh, if I speak up, then I'll feel embarrassed. Play. You have a need. I cannot express it to my partner because what if he doesn't listen to me? Play. Like all the time, we're not conscious about it. So there are these tapes. I love this one, the aha moments. So this is a conscious mind. You go to a course, you read a book, you're like, aha, I love it. Or there's this joke, and I can say it because I study psychology. It's about psychologists. So there's this guy, after 10 years of therapy, he's like, I finally know why my life sucks. Yeah, but it still sucks. So it's like these aha moments, but everything keeps running the same because it's a subconscious with these tapes and these programs. It's the habits. It's the, I don't know why, but when I'm stressed, I shut down. I don't know why, but when I'm nervous, I grab for that donut. I don't know why, but if I'm in a struggle or in a conflict with someone, I just say, yes, yes, it's okay. I keep the harmony. I don't express my needs because it's better to keep at peace. You see? It's these programs running over and over again. Now, this one, the conscious mind, now check this one out, it's really interesting. It processes 40 bits per second. 40 bits. It's a processor. The subconscious processes 4 million bits per second. Now, how does this look like? You want to change your life, and you think, okay, I'll use my conscious mind. This is how it looks like. I'll show you a lovely pyramid from Mexico. So you have Chichen Itza, 4 million bits per second. That's your subconscious mind. Imagine it as a processor. That's what it grasps. The pyramid of Mexico. You want to know how much your conscious mind processes? Oh, look at this tiny little dot of the sky. That's how much your conscious mind is processing. So if you want to change your life, you want to go for the whole powerful processor, or you want to go for the little tiny one. So this is where methods like resonance repatterning or hypnosis, if you're going to go to Catherine's conference, come in because they deal with the programs and the tapes from the subconscious. I'm going to tell you a little story about resonance. When I was teaching kindergarten, I was doing both at the same time. I love kids. I started also education. And I was teaching them biology. And we were in this really cool interactive class where I had organs pasted in my apron, and we're talking about the digestive system, and the kids were very engaged. And as kids, they come up with these silly, creative questions. I love them. So one of them goes, Miss Franco, so what happens if you stop pooping for many, 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 many years? Of course, the pee, and the gases came up. And some of them laugh, and then another one raises their hand and says, well, you die. And then others laugh, and then and others start raising their hands already, like, I want my question. Except one girl. This little girl with the sentence, well, you die. Like, usually kids take this death topic. If they haven't been encountered with death, they take it quite normally. This girl stood up from the circle, started moving back, breathing really, really deep, really, really fast, hyperventilating, crying, going, no. I was like, I'm having a full-blown panic attack from a 5-year-old. In that moment, I had to act fast because, if you know the attention span of kindergarteners, you need to act fast. So I just did an intervention from resonance. It's called the anxiety release, to bring her back. She did calm down fast enough that the other kids didn't come up with creative ideas on how to entertain themselves. So she came back, and I continued my class. So the symptoms of that moment were reduced, but the fear of dying on this little girl was still there. You see what I mean? On the thoughts that can be changed really fast, but the fear that will trigger this panic attack was still there. So I spoke with the parents and said, look, this happened. And they say, we know. And they were so overwhelmed because their reaction was so strong that they told her daughter, don't worry, you'll never die. And after seeing her reaction, I understood the parents, why they just told her, it's okay, sweetie, you'll never die. So I told the parents, look, I have this system you want me to try, give it a go. And children are just amazing. They're the best clients because they are little sponges. They don't have these limitations that we have. So after 3 sessions, this girl was like, yes, I know I will die one day. So we dealt with the subconscious with that belief. And this is how strong this system can be, or any other that deals with the subconscious. It goes right there to the patterns, right there to the tapes and programs, and shifts them so that then your reality and your symptoms shift as well. Now, it's based on quantum physics resonance repatterning. Why? Because as I explained to you before, it's this, we are made of energy, okay, and we are connected. And as quantum physics also explains, is that you need just one tiny input of energy to change a whole system. It's not like Newton, you need this huge amount for this huge effect. No, that's old school. One tiny input, you change a whole system. That's quantum physics. That's why it's based on that. It's based also in psychology. Now, as you saw with Andrea, you know what you need to heal, and you know all the information that you need to change. It's not something that is done to you, or a healing, or a reading. No, I was working with Andrea with her own muscle, checking her energy. How is her energy when she does this? How is her energy when she does this? Okay? So it's basically reading what you know already, but we have forgotten, and we cannot access it because we have had experiences where are painful, experiences where we got upset, so we cannot access that information. But actually, that's where it comes from. It's this muscle checking. Now, what do people come from? So they come from different problems. Sometimes they have a symptom, like a lower pain in their backs, and they don't know why. They have had it for months. Sometimes they have a specific problem. Look, I have very tense environment in my family. I want to be able to feel centered. Or they have an intention where they're stuck, really simple intentions like, I want to lose weight, I want to be more fit, but I get stuck. I don't know why. I sabotage myself. It could be an intention. Or it could be also a repatterning. They're very specific. That means changing patterns in your brain. And there are more than 100 in this system. It could be a very simple one where you change a belief. It could be one with your parents, like a friend of mine that came over for a session. She said that she never felt that she had the support from her mom. It was as if she was the mom, always calling her, hey, mom, how are you doing? What's going on? What's new? And after one session, this is one of these examples of miracle sessions, a few days later, her mom called for the first time and said, hey, sweetie, how are you doing? Because she changed the vibration, she changed in her field that she was the mom. She was not the mom, she was the daughter. So once she resonated with, I'm the daughter, her field changed. So the mom called. I had another example that I really like to share, a creative repatterning. Many years ago, a friend of mine did a practice, and she says, oh, you want a session? And I said, yes, I would love one. I was feeling a little bit like, not so confident with myself, you know, that feeling like, So I said, yeah, sure, do a session. What came up with my information was I need a creative repatterning. And specifically, drawing. I go like, what? It could have been dancing. I can dance anywhere, anytime. I said, no, drawing. Drawing. I do stick figures, and I draw the face inside. That's my drawing. I said, okay, I trust my system knows. We did the repatterning, and I had to draw. After one session, I became a painter. It's unbelievable. If you're curious, I'll show you some pictures on my phone. If you walk in my apartment, there are paintings everywhere. I would have never thought that I had it in me. And as creative energy is, it flows, you feel confident, you feel connected, you feel present, and I felt different. And the added value was I became a painter. So it's really, really powerful because you have the information that you need to bring up, that you need to change, and what you need to change it. Now, the inputs of energy are very, very small. They're very, very simple, and they're very, very quick. And there's so many different ones, okay? And we'll get to do some of them in a little bit. So there could be, give you an example, put two in one example. There's the sit-up. Remember I tried this with Andrea. When her arm started to get weaker, I said, let me just zip you up. And then I checked her arm again, and it got strong. What did I do? So this movement of sit-up is actually strengthening an acupuncture channel called the conception vessel. So it strengthens your whole system, energy field. So if you're in a meeting, in a party that feels a little bit off, in a family meeting where like there are some members talking about negative stuff, or someone comes and says, did you hear in the news that this child got chopped by something really negative? You can do that. You can zip up, and immediately you will strengthen your system. Now it can be very like secret. You don't have to be like, you're so negative, let me zip up you. No. It can be a really soft movement, like go like this. And you're in a meeting and they're coming with blah, 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 go like this. If you're very impatient, having one of those days and you're with your kids and they're screaming, zip up. The other one is shaking. The animal kingdom does it all the time. After a trauma, they shake. Actually, we do it as well. We do it. If we have a car accident, if you've ever seen a victim after an accident, they start shaking. And what do? Oh, it's okay. Calm down, don't shake. What? Let them shake, let them release. That's a natural thing to do, the shake up, okay? So we're gonna go now right into it. I'm gonna give you one last group task, okay? So I want you to stand up and share with the audience 5 things you don't like about yourself, okay? Some of you might have felt, I'm kidding, like this. Jiggling, what is this crazy woman asking? Maybe thoughts running, okay, which one will I share? This one? No, I'll look crazy, my this, what is the, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you feel what I wanted you to feel. So I'll get you now feeling like this. Okay, so let's do the input. So I want everybody to stand up. We'll do the small inputs of energy that you can use in your everyday lives. When you start your day, when you finish your day, in the middle, if you're at work and you're like, oh, I cannot take this anymore, go to the bathroom, nobody will see you, and do them. Very simple. So the first one we're going to do is actually the systematic nervous system shakeout, the one that I told you about the animals that we actually do, but we forgot. So we start with the hands. Shaky, shaky. I'm going to have to take my ring. If not, I'll hit someone. Shake. Okay. Now the arms. It releases tension. Keep shaking. I used this one after a fake kidnap call I got in Mexico, that my sister was kidnapped. Oh, the longest minutes of my life. After finishing this call and we finally contact my sister, now keep shaking on all your legs. I did this with my mom. I said, Mom, we need to shake this out now. And we could joke about it like we Mexicans do, but it was thanks to this. Now your shoulders, we hold a lot of tension in your shoulders. Shake the shoulders out, and the neck too. And if you want to go really crazy, go with the head as well. Good, and the jaw. Good. Take a deep breath. Good. Now the zip up is very simple. Imagine you have a zipper between your legs and going up the way to your chin. This is the way you do if you're encountered with a negative news in a negative environment. You just zip up. If you're visiting someone in the hospital, you zip up. This will strengthen you. Now, by now, I hope the jittery feelings of the group task has reduced. Good. Nice. The other one we're going to use is called the calming crossovers. This one I will use it with my kids as well in the kindergarten because they're brilliant. So if you have kids or have worked with kids, you know they're so sensitive. There's something when the weather is changing really drastically, they pick it up and they become these like jumping beans. Or also the full moon, I don't know what it is. It's not like a comic thing. They feel it and they're like, ugh. Now add this into the equation. They had like chocolate cake because they were celebrating the birthday of someone. Even, I'm seeing nodding heads, even the introspective kids that are quite shy are like, oh, all over the wall. So I could feel this environment when I will walk inside in their free play. 15, I was like, oh, no. The weather's going to change, and then I'll ask, did they just have sugar? Yes. I was like, okay. And I'll ask them, so I feel like you're a little bit like jumping beans today. Like, yes, yes. So what do you think we could do? And it's lovely because they will come up with this one that I'm going to show you, the calming crossovers. So I want you to sit down now, doing some exercise after lunch. It's very, very simple. You can use this anytime and show your children as well. So you put your hands in front of you, thumbs up. Good. Now turn them over, thumbs down. Good. Now put one hand over the other one. It doesn't matter which one, actually. And grasp your fingers. Good. Now bring it in and above and shoulders down. Good. Good. Now the last thing I'm going to ask you to do is cross your ankle over the other one. Good. This is going to help you calm down in any situation. And it also helps you connect both hemispheres of the brain. So if you're having difficulties, just keep it as you are. If you're having difficulties, I'll show it again. If you have it already, just keep it like that. Thumbs up, thumbs down, one hand above the other one. Grasp the fingers, go to your belly, up your chest, and elbows down. Great. Ankles crossed. Now the last thing I'm going to ask for you to do is connect your tongue and the roof of your mouth like this, but close your mouth. Good. So you're going to close your eyes, and in this position, you're going to take 3 deep breaths in and out of your nose with your eyes closed. Good. Good. You may open your eyes. Now connect your fingertips. And just allow, you can uncross your ankles. Just allow your hands to move in any way they want. Maybe it's a swift movement, maybe it wants to go over your head, maybe down. This helps synchronize both parts of the body as well. Good. And when you're done, then you put your hands on your lap. Good. So that's the third one. The first one is the shake up. Shake up. The second one, the sip up, the calming. And the last one, a very powerful one, is the open heart gesture. A practitioner used this one when she was about to be attacked. She had the courage. I'm not sure if I will do it. But she was about to be attacked. She did the open heart gestures, and the assailants just moved away. It's that powerful. Why? Because our heart actually is way stronger than the brain. Magnetically is 60 times stronger than the brain, and electrically is 5,000 times stronger than the brain. And it can be measured, so it's your field, it's in your heart. So if you're connected from your heart and sending energy from your heart, you can change the environment around you, okay? And because I want you to go with this really positive energy, this is the last one that we will do. So I'm gonna ask you now again to stand up. A very, very simple one and very, very powerful. Remember, quantum physics, we don't need this huge amount of effort done by many, many years. One small input at the right timing, it changes your whole system. So I want you to stand shoulder length, okay? Really straight. Good. Give a little shake out. Good. Okay. So you're gonna place your hands open. It's the mudra of open heart, okay? And I wanna have you close your eyes now. And I want you to concentrate in breathing very deeply. And I want you to imagine as if you're breathing from your heart. In and out from your heart. How you're breathing in pure energy and how you're transmitting this really pure energy, these really good vibes around your body and around your field. Keep breathing. And see how your energy is changing, how it's shifting. And observe. Good. Good. Take one last deep breath. And exhale with a ah. Good. Now, by now, the ones that got a little bit nervous with the task should now feel really calm and centered. Okay, you may sit down now. Thank you. So, to wrap up, now you get it. We are made of energy. We transmit this energy. We're made of vibrations. And we can change our thoughts in an instant. You've seen it. That was so powerful. Please take it with you. You've seen it, how our thoughts, how our actions can change our field and the fields of those around us. Now, I made you feel a little bit of stress with my fake task, and with resonance repatterning, you got them back to balance. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the talk. Thank you.